Specialist Michael Stevens, U.S. Army.
Major Peter Olson, U.S. Army.
Master Sergeant Kenneth R. Kirbyson, United States Air Force.
Kurt Blackwell Sr., United States Navy.
Sergeant Andrew Alsbrook, Navy.
Corporal Alex Jameson, Marines.
My father is currently serving in the U.S. Army.
I have had multiple people serve in my family.
I've had 6 people serve in my family. I have 4 uncles, a grandpa, and a dad.
I'm pretty sure my grandpa has, and my dad.
My mom, my brother Michael, and my grandpa Frank.
Lieutenant Commander, Chaplain, Reverend Gerald Beam, United States Navy.
Melvin Olson, Air Force.
Tom Dugan, National Guard.
Barbara Ann Kirbyson, United States Air Force.
Our Petty Officer 2nd Class, David Maley of the Navy.
First Lieutenant Dallas W. Beatty, USMC.
Lieutenant Chaplain Will Wyman, U.S. Navy.
And Vanessa Chow, Army.
Peter Bockham, World War II vet.
Master Sergeant Andrew Collins, Army Special Forces.
Captain Shane Matlock, U.S. Army.
It's affected me because it distinguishes, I guess, the military and to show how much pride they put in their work and a lot of honor and dedication to go into it. So,
it gives you a certain appreciation of the armed forces and what they do for our country and the sacrifice that they give for us. So.
When I was little, my dad went on a 1.5-year trip, and when he was gone, we would count each specific chain. They'd be linked together like this, and we would take one off every day that he was gone. And when it came to the last one, that was the day that my dad came back, and it's just a family tradition thing that we did whenever he left on deployment.
My grandfather, who was in the Navy, was one of the senior officers on a ship, and there was a guy who was cleaning the sides of the ship one time, and the anchor started to fall, and so my grandpa ran and grabbed a bar and just jammed it in the anchor chain, which didn't really do a whole lot, but it gave the guy just enough warning to get out of the way. But in the meantime, the anchor chain just snapped, and his pinky got caught under it and severed this part of his pinky. And so the surgeon said, "Well, Bert, we can either just cut off the rest of your pinky, or we can take this whole bone out." And so that's what they decided to do, because when you take this whole bone out and seal the skin back, it just looks natural. And if you're not paying attention, you won't even notice his pinky's gone.
Well, my mom did tell me that when she was in basic training, she dropped her rifle one time, and her drill sergeant made her drop down, put a rifle on top of her hands, and do 25 push-ups each time going down, kissing her rifle, saying, "I'm sorry, baby, I'll never do it again."
I would say honor is the best word to describe service, because both the people that I know are like grandpa figures in my life, and I know that they both are honored by their service to this country and to their families.
I would say it's family because as a service member, the people you serve with, they become as close as your family. They aren't just friends.
I think sacrifice, because you're sacrificing a lot of time and maybe at one point your life.
I would say my brother's case, humility. He's never bragged about what he's done, and he's been very humble about all the time he spent serving, and he's not for glory or anything like that. It's probably humility.
Brave. Because it takes an awful lot out of the men to go away from their families and to give their life to their country and to God, and I think that's very brave of them. It takes a lot of courage for that.
I think dedication, honestly. I see my dad dedicating everything he does. I really admire him as a dad.
Thankful what men and women are willing to do to protect our nation every day. And I think sometimes we put that kind of on the back burner and we forget that there's people that are out there making sure that our freedoms stay intact.
Because how many people say, you know, I put my life on the line for this person. And to put yourself out there every day and not knowing, am I going to see my family? Am I going to be able to go back home, you know, and see my kids laugh again? It's just utter thankfulness that I have for them who do put their lives on the line.
Nothing, not even the safe return of a beloved son, can compensate you or the thousands of other American families who have suffered great loss in this tragic war. But I might share with you some words which have sustained me through long, dark nights of peril, loss, and heartache. And I quote, "I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Abraham Lincoln,